one question. My name is Laurabel Mba. I am a mom. I am a social activist, and I am a Nigerian-born, Canadian-raised, trying to claim Newfoundland as her home Black woman. And what do? A variety of things. I host a talk show on Rogers TV, but I'm also heavily involved in the world of anti-racism advocacy. I can't ride a bike. I am 31 years old and cannot do the thing. I've had people try to teach me, and it has caused a deep fear inside. So I can drive a car. I can't ride a bike. We'll try it. Black excellence, I know for a lot of people it's the pivotal, we're the best of the best. I'm over that. Black excellence is Black regularness, Black mediocrity. It is being able to show up as myself in whatever space I find myself in, and I think that is excellent. I think it is the resiliency of Nigerian people. So I'm Nigerian, and that is my journey to Canada and all that. I think I saw a meme recently that said, if you can't find Nigerians in that place, it is inhospitable to human life. And I think that is what I'm most proud of, because Nigerians exist everywhere in the world. I think we're even sitting in the coldest parts of it and hanging firm. So I think it's the resiliency of the Nigerian population. So the impact has been pretty great. I think for a lot of people, there's still a lot of fear to engage in race denial because it means acknowledging that racism is a thing here. And a lot of people have a hard time conceptualizing the idea of racism the way we're typically used to seeing it in the US, and the joyful, kind Newfoundland aesthetic. So it's been received well. There's a lot more upkeep and uptake in it as more governmental organizations move towards embracing DEI as a standard. So within people applying for government funding, they now have applications that say, what is your DEI trajectory? And organizations are sitting there being like, really don't know what that is. So Race to Dinner is offering not just the sit-down dinner sessions to talk about the way racism shows up, but policy creation and policy review, so you can see what you have within your own capacity and what you can hold yourself accountable for, so that your employees and future employees can be like, you said you do this, where is our standard? I think the dinner is a great way to introduce the idea to most people in terms of, if you look at like the hierarchy of an organization, dinner is great for staff because it gets them to actually talk about what's going on between their staff dynamics and their actual workplace. I think the policy conversation is a lot more for the management, because then they have a standard to which they're able to influence the way they organize their organization. So it's like, we know a lot of organizations now have anti-harassment policies, but those were new and stated because I think it was only in 2020 Workplace NL made it mandatory. But within those harassment policies, we still have this loophole for racism. And so anti-racism policy creation with Race to Dinner comes in and says, this is where your workplace harassment policy is. This is the giant gap you have. What is your capacity? What can you actually say? If we write this down on paper, we have the human power to make sure we enforce these policies. And that's where we work with them. And some are like, we have the time to sit and pull a full anti-racism policy. Let's go into it. It has been the most fun, especially because I never thought I would be in front of a camera. If you had asked me 5 years ago what I thought I would be doing there, I'd have laughed you off my house. I would have been, go on with yourself. But I was introduced to it by the one and only Lloydetta Quaco, who interviewed me for Sharing Our Cultures. And then when one of the hosts, Jason Piercy, had an unfortunate accident, they were looking for guest hosts. I stepped in to do 2 episodes, and I was very fortunate enough that they loved me as much as I loved them. And when Lynn Hammond was stepping away, they offered me the opportunity to be a regular full-time host. And it has been one of the greatest joys of my life, being able to give people who don't usually get a chance and this platform to share their voices and their experiences has been amazing, between doing all February content being Black History Month, showcasing not-for-profits, charitable organizations, and talking about sometimes really hard political issues in a conversational manner. Love it. Other than bring your coat, it gets better. It does get better. The first couple weeks, months, and even year are going to be hard in terms of, one, adjusting to a whole new culture, regardless of where you're going. In predominantly white spaces, it's going to be difficult, but you're going to find your space. You're going to find your people. And if you don't, you have all rights to demand your space and ask for the things that you need to make it comfortable for you. There will be people who will support you. There'll be people who will lend a hand. And when it gets hard, you also deserve the right to take a break. Sit back, collect yourself, care for your mental health, because the fight is going to be there regardless. We need you strong enough to continue to do it. Make sure these things run past February. I think there is a lot of low skate buildup leading into February, from like January 15th till February 1st. And then February, they try to jam pack all the things they can into a very short month. And then once March 1st hits, it's like the kente cloth comes off and back into regular society we go. And I think that is unfair to limit the amount of programming and services and creativity that Black folks have into 28 to 29 days.